So, I just got to watch the first couple episodes of Star Wars: The Acolyte, the brand new, extremely controversial series from Disney coming to Disney Plus, the new Star Wars show that we have today. This is, of course, the first show that we have gotten that does not take place during the Empire's time, during the prequels time period, or during the post-prequel time period. This takes place during what they call the High Republic, about 100 years before the Phantom Menace. And it's a show that has a lot of controversy, mainly because the creator of this show has said a lot of really bad things, where she pretty much said that George Lucas, his interpretation of the Force is not the one that should be used going forward, and she said a bunch of other stuff. And I just kind of imagine that, like, if you were to go, right now and make a Lord of the Rings movie and say, well, we're gonna go a new interpretation of Middle-earth. All respect to Tolkien, but screw Tolkien, we're gonna do our own thing. So that's kind of the vibe everybody got before the show came out, and now that it's out, we have a glimpse of what she was going for with this show and what her interpretation of Star Wars is. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, I really want to hate this show. I really want to despise it, just because everything that Disney Star Wars has been so far, outside of a couple projects, has been despicable. Because they have broken my heart so much, I want to hate it. I want to get on here and tell you this is terrible. But I'm gonna just get on here and tell you I'm indifferent so far. I gotta be honest, there are some pros to these first two episodes and there are some cons, and ultimately I'm going to say this: my ultimate opinion of the show is not going to be able to be fluid and understandable until the full thing is out. So for right now, I can give you this. So far, it's okay. So what is The Acolyte? The whole premise of this show is it's this High Republic era, and there is this chick going around killing Jedi. She is a Force user who's clearly using the dark side of the Force, but we don't know if she's a Sith or what she is. She has a mysterious master who also might be a Sith, but we don't really know so far, and she is hunting down some Jedi that have done some stuff to her in her past. She also has a twin sister who used to be a Jedi, and now she's just a random boring chick. They're both played by Amanda Steinberg, who is incredible in the movies Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Go check that out. The cast also has Daphne and Keen, who of course plays X-23 in Logan. And most importantly, Li Zhang, who of course is the star of Squid Games. Here he is playing the main Master Jedi, and he is the best part of this entire show. He speaks perfect English, which I never thought I'd ever see after watching Squid Game, because he's so good in that show, speaking South Korean and doing all that stuff, and he is so amazing there, and in this show, he plays the polar opposite of that character. He's strong, he's tough, he's confident, but he's also empathetic. He is everything that you want a Master Jedi to be, and he is the best part of the show so far. The first episode is really good, at least how it opens. It opens with a big fight between Amanda Steinberg, the evil version of her, and the Master Jedi, and they have this really cool non-lightsaber Force battle that was really unique and did a lot of creative stuff. I think the way the fight ended was a little goofy. I feel like they did not have a realistic way to have it end the way that they wanted to in the script, so they just kind of did some goofy shit. But overall, it was a good fight. Then the episode does, it does take some weird turns. It reveals some stuff that I didn't think would be revealed so early, but it gets immediately into the actual overall plot between these two sisters and how they relate to the Jedi. And I'm a little intrigued, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned about a couple things with this show. First things first, the one trend that I had in this first episode and into the second episode is the dialogue. The dialogue in this show is not good. It's not horrific, but it's not good. Goddamn, does it have that Disney garbage dialogue flair that you get in all these Star Wars movies. It is just as dry as it gets, as goofy and cringy as it gets, and there's just no weight to it. Because of that, a lot of the characters tend to feel that way. There are characters that I like. Of course, I've talked about the main Jedi guy that I really like. I also like Daphne and Keen's character. I also like, there's this one Jedi who's just kind of like a buff Chad. I kind of like him. Amanda Steinberg so far, I really don't enjoy either one of her characters. Mainly because the dialogue they've written for her so far is not good at all. And you really feel it in the second episode. I think the second episode is a lot worse than the first one. It's the episode that reminded me that this is a Disney Star Wars show. There's just a lot more going on in the second episode, but none of which is very intriguing. There's another big fight that is cool, and it does work, and that's the one thing this show has done well so far, is the choreography on these fights is easily the best that Disney has done since they've taken over Star Wars. Not at the prequel level yet, but we'll see. I know we're gonna get some lightsaber fights later in the series, so we'll see how those stand up. But the second episode just kind of drags on. They introduce this other Jedi dude who, like, this chick's trying to kill, and he's like this badass dude who's kind of like living in the Force, and he's just sitting cross-legged, has a force field around him, and I was so intrigued by this dude. And then nothing comes of it. Let's just put it that way. And that sucks. And then he had more bad dialogue, and it leads to an interesting ending that has, a good cliffhanger, and we're off. We're off to go on the rest of this show, right? So I'm at a weird spot to give you guys my first impressions of the show, because I don't want to say it's shit. It's not shit so far. It's not terrible. There's nothing I can really say about it that makes it terrible other than the dialogue. The fighting is good. I enjoy some of the characters. I enjoy the High Republic world. They've done a good job of making the show kind of feel more like the prequels than it does any of the other original stuff that they've done. The show definitely has that prequel vibe. You feel the big budget of it. The world and the production design is really well done. You feel like the Jedi Order are this meaningful thing that they were in the prequels, which I love. But I don't know, we'll see where they go with the story. I have a feeling that the story is going to go to some places that annoys me as a Star Wars fan. For example, I have a feeling that the chick is being trained by a Sith Lord, and we've seen in the trailers them fighting a dude with a red lightsaber. And listen, if there are Jedi fighting a Sith Lord, one of two things needs to happen for Mr. Joe over here to not get mad. Either A, it can't be a Sith Lord. It can't. It's gotta be some random dark side user, or B, all the Jedi gotta die. Every single one of them that sees a Sith Lord. Because it is a big deal in the Star Wars universe when Darth Maul appears in The Phantom Menace that they're like, guys, we just fought a Sith Lord. And they're all like, there can't be a Sith Lord. The Sith have been extinct for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Because guess what? The Jedi did not think the Sith existed. They thought they had defeated them, that they were destroyed. They did not know that Darth Bane had started the Rule of Two. Oh my god, I'm about to sound like the biggest fucking nerd. Darth Bane starts the Rule of Two. They scheme for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, eventually leading to Palpatine taking over the Republic, becoming the Chancellor, and secretly, instigating this war and getting his power, and then dying, and then just, I guess spawning a massive army of Death Star ships out of thin air. Fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy. And fuck you, J.J. Abrams. What the hell? But either way, if the Jedi see a Sith Lord in this series, know it's a Sith, fight the Sith, and then come back alive, it literally ruins the continuity of the universe. Because the whole point is that they had become contempt and kind of safe, and the Jedi did not fear or even know the Sith existed. And then when Darth Maul shows up, it's like, shit, what do we do now? And that's a big freaking deal in the universe. So I hope, I'm putting in hope, and this is going to be not the only thing that makes me either love this show by the end of it or hate it, but God, if they get this wrong, it's going to be a big thing that I'm going to come on here on this channel and complain about. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to see that, because when this show's done, I'll be on here. But so far, I think it's okay. I had a good time watching these first 2 episodes. There's stuff that's good about it, stuff that's not very good about it, but I'm interested. I'm seated for the next episode, and that's the least I could say. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of The Acolyte down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one.